As the retro proverb goes, a fainting faker is like a shadow boxer, able to hide their faults by showcasing themselves in a controlled environment. But once a real opponent is up, all of their mistakes come to light. See, all these years, I thought I got my black belt in jiu-jitsu to learn self-defense. But really, my senseis knew, even back then, that TikTok would one day come to fruition, and that fainting on camera would be the way to gain fame and fortune. They knew the faker's obvious faux falling would be their downfall. No pun intended. So amidst the sparring, the grappling, and the throws, they taught us break falls. Yes, how to break a fall. In other words, how to fool the masses by successfully faking without personal injury so you could make the silliest of TikTok videos. Foolproof. Except the coin flip. They also taught us values like respect, integrity, and discipline. Things that shape us into people who don't fake disorders for clout because it's lying to ourselves and it's at the expense of others. And so, we wield great power, not only in defending ourselves from attack, but also by knowing exactly how and what to do to rule TikTok, with only the fabricated restraints of morality holding us back. So instead of using uncontrollable disorders as a personality trait, we showcase ourselves through our cool hobbies and accomplishments. Like having your black belt in jiu-jitsu. Your training begins now, because we're about to grapple some feelings of cringe while we throw ourselves into this subreddit. Hey Girl Scout, what's shakin'? How have you been? I personally have been alright. Been enjoying this one video a week routine that allows me the time to focus on my health and gear up for Blaze and I to move into our new place. I'll admit, I wish I could just shelf my issues for a few weeks until the life changes settle and I'm back to a normal routine. But as we all know, that's just not how it works. Wouldn't it be nice to just be able to turn off our mental and physical afflictions at will? Or, even better, wouldn't it be nice to turn off the devastating side effects but keep the ones cute enough to make trendy TikTok videos about for tons of clout? I thought I would indulge us all in the fantasy today by having a look at fake disorder cringe. Right when I thought the DID trend was dying, Dream had to go and show his face so that all the people with alters of him would come out of hiding once again. And that resurgence brought about a puzzling trend of those who very well could be diagnosed with this or that coming out and over-exaggerating their symptoms for TikTok's enjoyment. In doing so, many of them are promoting some dangerous stuff and delegitimizing themselves. All so the people who don't take mental health seriously direct their giggles and jokes at them so they can join the fun. Yep, same old disgusting stuff that TikTok doesn't acknowledge because cracking down on irresponsible viral videos doesn't make you money. Enough chit chat, let's just jump right into it.
Wait, here's a test to see if you have ADHD. Let's find out. Start by focusing on the green flashing dot in the center. The longer you stay focused, the surrounding dots will start to vanish. But as soon as you let your eyes wander a little, the dots will start to reset itself. If you can only make one or two of the dots vanish, then you find it hard to focus and are easily distracted. But if you can make them all vanish, then you have a normal attention span. Only 1% of people on the planet can make all the dots vanish for more than 5 seconds. Let me know how you did, and like, follow, and share.
Yeah, I know you have extensive schooling and you spent multiple days figuring out how my brain works and what natural coping or abilities I have that may disguise what's wrong with me so you didn't wrongly choose whatever looked the most correct at face value. But you obviously messed up, because this little TikTok here showed me I don't have ADHD because I could make all the dots disappear. It's okay. Maybe if you look up ADHD tags on social media, you could be smarter like these people. The real optical illusion is how this guy makes it look like this TikTok is anything but a rebranded visual puzzle. Blink and you'll miss it. Does this mean if I focus on these fake disorder people for long enough, they'll disappear too? I mean, come on. When did silly optical illusions turn into another way to instill self-doubt into people so that they would watch your content? Does it make these people feel good to know they're wrongly implanting the narrative that someone has ADHD because they blink, knowing it'll give them views and maybe even a comment if they do that? Is the price you're willing to pay to sacrifice your integrity and spread misinformation really a million TikTok likes? Sounds like a cheap bribe to me. Even if some people who are diagnosed say they can't focus on the center, it doesn't mean everyone with ADHD can't focus on it. And it doesn't mean everyone who can't focus on it has ADHD. The overlap doesn't mean much of anything. Extensive testing done by a professional does. This is just a way to pique your curiosity about yourself and manipulate you into watching something you normally wouldn't watch by adding an ADHD tag to an optical illusion video. I mean, the guy's @ literally has clout written in it, so take that as you will.
Trying this trend with extreme iron deficiency, B12 deficiency and others. It's okay, you can laugh.
she's not the only one falling. Clearly tons of gullible kids are falling for this being some quirky, funny trend instead of it being a dangerous, careless act to engage in when you're susceptible to fainting. Or perhaps all of us falling for that being a real feint. Because who in their right mind would willingly want to encourage that awful feeling of dizziness and risk injury to themselves for validation online? One thing's for sure, my IQ points are falling trying to figure out why this person thinks acknowledging that it's dangerous and explaining that they put pillows down buried in the comments is in any way as responsible as avoiding a trend where they could faint in the first place. Yeah, don't do this because it's really bad, but I'm going to because I prefer attention over respecting myself. Sorry if that hit a little too close to home and if that was a little bit too real for you. My opinions are not for the faint of heart.
Oh my God. She's going to faint. Somebody catch her! I'll catch you. Fall into my arms. Sorry.
These people's actions will certainly impact how seriously people will take others suffering with fainting disorders because of having to be lumped in with these people who make a joke of it. Not to mention those faking who engage in the trend pretending to faint, who will add to the numbers of people spreading that false info online and making it harder to explain the dangers of this kind of thing to others. I'll pass out some advice, that is. A better way to get attention while spreading the right kind of awareness would be to point out why this trend is dangerous to those with fainting tendencies. But that would require giving up online followers, and that's one thing these people can't stand for.
Okay, this video is for like cis talk, DID talk, or just like people who know what like DID or LSTD are. Muppet wanted to be included. Anyway, are we the only ones who like attract other systems? And I'm not talking like, oh, you're a system, I'm a system, like let's bond over that, let's be friends. No, it's like, I'll talk to them, and they'll, like, think they're a singlet. They'll still think that they're singlets. And then, like, eventually, at just some point of being their friend, we'll be like, why are you biting me? Don't say that. We'll just be like, oh yeah, so we're actually a system, like, this is kind of, like, what it is and how it is, you know? And then, like, a week or so later, we'll get a text that's just like, we have something to tell you. We? Yeah, I know. To the point where we have started, like, counting how many times this happens and, like, how long it takes. We met someone at the beginning of this school year who our siblings have known for, like, 2 years. And they thought that they were a singlet. And now they're a very well-established OSDD system, and we're just like, how does this keep happening? Why are there so many?
This is what the government has been hiding from us. They kept us locked up because they were changing batteries on their pigeons and trying to contain a deadly infectious plague. No, not that one. DID. From the looks of it, anyone emotionally compromised that gets within the Discord chat vicinity of someone who claims to have DID suddenly gets symptoms. Like having opposing inner thoughts and feeling like their favorite anime character. Ugh. They're gonna be in denial for a while until they finally realize none of this is a coincidence, and they cannot hide the fact that they caught the rare DID any longer. They are part of the 1%. Unfortunately, these people tend to stay inside and make TikToks all day, so I think it's all time we admit that this is a computer virus, and that maybe this is just the beginning stages of AI and robots taking over. The only 100% cure is probably burning down the internet and eradicating the source of this blockchain of disease. But unfortunately, a symptom of this trendy malady is internet addiction and aggressiveness towards anyone who tries to offer them help. They somehow have their brains altered through the disease to think they enjoy being ill. Add on the non-believers who don't think this thing is real, and you get a mess of a situation that's impossible to contain. Make sure you always do your part in stopping the spread by scrubbing your internet history clean, wiping any drives full of bootleg anime episodes, using protection like a VPN when entering these disease-laden sites, and cleaning up your Discord friends list.
If you do decide to check it out, you need to clear your history right away. You may need to uninstall your browser. I'm telling you, scrub that thing clean. If you think you're being too cautious, you're not. They will take us both to jail.
For the record, I'm not here to debate C19 stuff. Everything I just said was a joke and doesn't reflect any of my opinions. So stop typing if you're mad at things you think I think. Want to know what I think? I think these people don't understand that they're probably spreading very silly misinformation and vague statements that they're confusing for hormones and growing up. And their fellow hormonal peers are listening and mixing up what's normal with mental illness because they believe you and TikTok. There's a huge reason DID is usually diagnosed later in life, when your brain is supposed to be fully developed and there is no confusion of hormones and your personality still forming. Feeling like no one gets you, having mood swings, dissociating as a fight or flight instinct when attacked, and relating to characters in shows made for your age group are normal. That's not to say you don't have a disorder, but talk to a professional if you're worried about something. Most importantly, remember that you're more than a disorder. Figure out the coping you need so that you can show off the parts of your personality you choose to form.
Taking our driver's test tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna have to force Dream front because Dream drove on Monday and was perfectly fine. I drove yesterday and I was a fucking mess. Like full, like, almost had a meltdown mess. So, guess Dream is our driver.
Yeah, in your dreams. If your mental illness or medical condition increases risk on the road, you're not allowed to drive. You're either A, lying about having the disorder, or B, you have the disorder and you're lying about its impact on you so you don't have to give up the privileges that you're not entitled to because you're a danger to others. It's like a J14 magazine personality quiz. Which kind of selfish are you? Mostly A? Then you're the clout-chasing ableist kind of selfish. These kinds of selfish people use others' debilitating issues that often permanently affect parts of their life in order to attract attention online. They have no issue spreading misinformation, making light of someone else's serious disorder, and they definitely have an active TikTok account full of meet the altar and try not to faint challenge videos. They're clearly hurting for an identity, so they steal the traits from their favorite characters and they embrace positive comments while deflecting negative comments by ironically calling people fun buzzwords like ableist. They're kinda sad, but unless they get their heads out of their self-absorbed asses and maybe try a hobby to properly develop an identity, they're pricks. Mostly B, well then you're the responsibility evading self-victimizing kind of selfish. These dangerous deadbeats use their issues as an excuse to behave badly or dangerously, daring anyone to call them out so they can make them look like the bad guy. They know it's easier to cancel someone on Twitter than it is to take responsibility for the things they do wrong. Their TikToks will often be filled with angry comment responses calling people ugly words and laughing about their toxic traits as though they're cute personality traits instead of things they have control over but refuse to do so. They've decided their identity is being their uncontrollable illness, and until they acknowledge the control they have, they'll continue to do things that aren't very pog to everyone around them. Bonus points if you've harmed someone and blamed an alter. I scored mostly C. I'm the commentary YouTuber who thinks people want to hear their opinion over and over again kind of selfish. They often make their careers over speaking about issues they think are important, even though nobody asked them. They'll beat their niche to death because they can't shut up about what they think, and they definitely pick videos that both demonstrate their point while also making a good thumbnail. They often laugh at Ninja's tweets like he hasn't made more money than they ever will in their whole life. And honestly, they probably don't even watch Dream, even though they mention him in their videos. They mean well, but their annoyance means that some people do wish free speech was never invented so they couldn't react to their TikToks. And even then, they keep on posting content.
This trend with a fainting disorder. Pulling something soft close in case I fall forward. Regret.
Drop it like it's a hot TikTok trend. I can't tell what beat is more prominent, the beating of their poor hearts trying to keep them conscious, or the one in the Bo Burnham song they decided to use as the face of this whole thing. Or is that the sound of Bo Burnham's heart rate, quickly skyrocketing as he tries not to fall deeper into existential dread once the realization hits that the music he made to bring light to societal issues is ironically being taken by those who call themselves fans and spun into the thing he hates most. Oh wait, no, it's none of the above. It's the sound of my mic drop, actually.
Fainting goats are indigenous to North America. But that name is a bit of a misnomer, because they never lose consciousness when they keel over. If they're startled, a genetic condition causes their muscles to lock up. But it only lasts a few moments and then they're back on their feet.
Hate to break it to these people thinking this makes them special, but it's possible to get lightheaded from this even if you aren't suffering from a fainting issue. When you stand after sitting, your blood pools into your legs, and that can cause your blood pressure to temporarily drop, and you need a second to get that blood circulating normally again. So sometimes you get a little bit dizzy. Yeah, super cool. With that in mind, maybe it's easier to find a unique talent or something to showcase for attention. You know, because this trend can be done by anyone, or because disorders aren't a personality trait to begin with, maybe, possibly. Maybe?
Random things I didn't know were autistic traits. Strong sense of justice, no recognition for authority's social hierarchy. Toe walking. Excessive hyperexpressive facial reactions. Talking with my hands. Very ticklish, easily startled. Too focused on details and technicality but can't do the actual content. Feel empathy. Feel sympathy.
Okay, quick roundup of everyone who is now autistic. Batman, the Joker, Judge Judy, anybody who's ever had to walk over a part of the floor someone just mopped while making apologetic eye contact with them. Lele Pons, every single Italian, people who use sign language to communicate. Elmo, specifically of the Tickle Me descent. Scooby-Doo, TV producers from any show over 6 seasons long. And me, watching these kids fake disorders for the attention they're clearly lacking in some part of their lives but choose to do so in an ableist way. Isn't it nice to see some representation out there?
Well, maybe it's just because you're
autistic. You gotta be kidding me.
Better try the reflection test.
Autistic.
Come on. Again, just because you're diagnosed with autism doesn't mean these traits are exclusive to autistic people. The wording of this is just so bad. I wouldn't say I have ADHD because I can't focus and that's an ADHD trait. I would say I have ADHD because my brain has issues regulating dopamine, and as a result, many people with ADHD can experience a lack of focus when faced with tasks that do not provide them with dopamine. Implying that a random symptom is a direct result of having something like autism is wrong. Anxiety can cause you to move your arms more to release that buildup of nervous energy. Someone with flat feet might walk on their toes because their heels get sore. And justice is a concept dating back to ancient Greece, one with many different and often opposing interpretations, but ultimately is the driving force of the law. Not that I would know, of course, because ADHD trait means you can't pay attention if you don't like it. And God, did I hate my high school philosophy teacher. Call me a prisoner of Plato's cave, but I so wish I could go back into blissful ignorance. A time before, where the shadow of TikTok was just dumb and silly and I wasn't faced with the dark reality of it all. Now I'm forced to decide if I stand by while letting the consequences hit the faker like a train. A faker who I don't think deserves to be bullied by the masses at the end of the day and really just needs someone empathetic to empower them a bit. Or do I spare the faker entirely from criticism, pull the lever, and let those suffering with illness get run over by the train of stigma caused from these runaway trends? Is it on my hands if I'm not the one who caused the train to run amok in the first place? Is it ethical to be a bystander knowing you can make a choice and help others? And seeing how all ethical theories have criticisms, does my maxim of expecting people not to harm others override the expectation of people being offered forgiveness when they're truly sorry? Move over, Bo Burnham. There's a new existentialist in town. What can I say? Commentary YouTubers are clearly the next philosophers.
Hedonist trolley problem. The track is heading towards B. If you pull the lever, it will switch to A, but it won't do the totally sick loop-de-loop.
You are a trolley operator. Up ahead are 5 people who fell asleep on the tracks. You can alert them and ask them to get out of the way, but that would mean you would have to violate their nap. Should you wake them or respect their nap?
I just don't get it. Is this a if you can't beat 'em, join 'em thing, where those diagnosed with something feel unheard because they aren't over the top stereotypical and people don't pay them any attention unless they copy the fakers? Is this them realizing how easy it is to get attention for an illness and doing everything they can to get it because they don't understand the negative implications this has on stigmatizing their disorder? Or are these people convinced that they should be experiencing these side effects because they're diagnosed and they're susceptible to that misinformation since they're still young? Maybe a combination? Let me know what you guys think down below, because I can't wrap my head around making a big joke of your suffering and worsening it purposely to get likes online. And I don't think it's doing yourself any favors to let people not believe you influence how you portray your suffering when it's not accurate. Do you agree with me? If you do and want this message to be spread around, then let that YouTube algorithm know by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell, and sharing the video. It all genuinely helps get the video out there to new people who haven't joined our troop, and it helps me out too. I'm also down to talk about other issues, so let me know what you want to hear about below. You can also join my Discord, where I'll be engaging with everyone with fun activities once I move, and you can check out the gal behind the Danny Phantom PNG on my socials. Of course, my merch shop or leaving a super thanks comment are also ways to directly support the channel. And I think that's all from me. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I shall see you all in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Thanks for watching.